Skateboarding. America's favorite bone-breaking pastime. Probably. Back when I was nothing more than a small child in a suit of armor, I never had any interest in the actual IRL sport. I was not what you would call coordinated, what with the full plate mail and all, and was more of a roller skates kind of kid. But that doesn't mean I wasn't interested in skateboarding and video games. In fact, some of my earliest gaming memories are playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater with my cousins, and getting absolutely demolished. I never owned the game, so I had no idea how to play. And suspiciously, my cousins never gave me a chance to learn, and always wanted to play the competitive modes. Hey, wait a minute! But with the remaster of Pro Skater 1 and 2 now a thing, and 3 and 4 on their way, I figured what better time than now to go back and see if I can't figure out how to play. But you know me, I can't just play a game normally. So today, we're gonna find out. Can you beat Tony Hawk's Pro Skater with minimum stats? Right then, before we can officially start the run, let me play the tutorial a bit. The last time I played a Tony Hawk game, I was still bouncing into walls to turn around, so a little know-how won't hurt anything. Let's see, press A to ollie. Oh yeah, this brings me back. Okay, well, while I brush up on learning how to stay on the board, let's go over the rules. It wasn't a thing in the original, but the remake of Pro Skater 1 brought with it the skill system, as well as the ability to make your own custom skater. So rather than concuss our pal Tony Hawk over and over again, I'm gonna put good old Lemon through the ringer instead. Normally, making a character gives you about 40 or so skill points to toss around, but what we're gonna do is take those skill points and put them in the trash. Because what's the point of skateboarding if you don't eat pavement and break every bone in your body? Jesus, this poor man's spine. Walk it off, Tony. You're only 56. You'll be fine. But after completing the tutorial and having the sudden realization that yes, playing the tutorial would have let me win against my cousins, it's time to get this party started. Behold, our sweet baby boy. He's not quite perfect yet, but we'll get him there once we unlock more options. Wow, look at all those stats. He might be a half-decent skater. Well, we can't have that. Let me just reduce all those really quick. There we go. And voila, our character is ready to start the game. For those of you wondering what the stats even do, they're all pretty self-explanatory. But all you really need to know is that my guy here is as slow as they come, can barely get off the ground, and struggles to keep his balance while walking, let alone while he's on his board. For the purpose of our challenge today, we're going to be sticking to Pro Skater 1, which has 6 parks and 3 competitions to complete. In order to unlock other levels, you have to complete a certain number of challenges, and there lies the rub. With an average skater, you can absolutely do most, if not all of the challenges of every level. And with a great skater, you can do all of them with ease. But with someone who has minimum stats? Well now, that's the question of the day. Personally, I'll just be happy if we can unlock all of the levels. But who knows? With enough creativity, maybe we can get that sweet 100% on every level. And we're off! The first level is the warehouse. It's small, grimy, and perfect for getting a handle on how the controls work, which is exactly what I need because holy shit am I bad at this game. Or rather, my character is. Man can't even get 2 pop shove-its in before collapsing in a heap. He does have enough air to get 1 trick in if you time it right though. And while I was expecting some awful balance, it's actually not completely terrible. Nowhere as easy as it was in the tutorial, but at least it's bearable. My first romp through the warehouse got me a grand total of 0 goals. But hey, not a bad test run. And thus the game loop is established. Reset the level, try again, fail miserably to get a single goal. Reset the level, try again, and this time, focus on achieving specific goals. The first goal I want to focus on is getting the skate letters. And it looks impossible, due to my stat points making it so that I get 0 air when going off of jumps. But if we can get our special bar filled, this will actually make our character jump higher and skate faster. Which means the A above the quarter pipe is within our reach, as is the T above the half pipe. We can grab the E with relative ease, so long as we perform a 720 faceplant, and then it's just a half-assed ollie into the S to complete the task. After goofing around a bit, I accidentally managed to get a score high enough to unlock the high score goal, which means we've only got 8 more goals to go, and 2 more goals before we can unlock a new level. After that, I decided to focus on smashing the boxes around the level, which wasn't terribly hard to do, but did require me to do some exploring, which was actually kind of fun. No challenge here. Moving on. Time to collect us some fire hydrants. Much like the skate letters, in order to reach all of the collectibles, you're gonna need to keep your special bar nice and high. 4 of the hydrants on the map are easily within reach, so you don't really have to worry about those so long as you're able to do some simple tricks. And once I got my special bar up, that's all the hydrants collected. Oh, I also BS 50-50'd the big rail along the way. Because why not? And with those goals got, we actually have enough to move on to the next level. The school. You know the drill by now. 10 goals, spaced throughout the level in such a way that you'll explore the whole thing in order to do them all. Plenty of things to collect, plenty of random architecture to trick off of. Oh, and don't forget the secret tape. Gotta get you a secret tape. Right then, time to jump off a roof and get to class. Wait, no, that's not right. Well, half of it is, but the other half is utter nonsense. I'll let you decide which is which. Start simple. S, K, A, ska, baby, we're done here. T. Wait, no, not that. Why would we want that? Oh, thank God, an E. That wasn't so hard. Now we just need to successfully do some of the simplest tricks I can think of, and there we go. I score. How about lunch tables? Those seem easy. Yep, no problems there. Cool beans. And then, a sudden burst of progress. While unsuccessfully searching the entire map for bells to wall ride, I accidentally discovered a trick that my poor, simple bastard can actually do. Grinding. Apparently, I'm actually pretty decent at the balance minigame that you play every time you grind or manual. And because almost every map has a long or sometimes infinite grind segment that you can take advantage of, I think we just figured out how to always get a decent amount of points. But then, a realization. Pro Skater rewards you for combining tricks together. So if you can find something to grind on, followed by a wall plant, you can then grind again for even more points. And if you can somehow get a kickflip or grab trick at the end of it, you're looking at a 5-figure number right there. Oh hey look, I got the high combo goal. Now, I'm sure all the Pro Skater veterans are rolling their eyes at this point. Because yeah, that's literally the point of the game. Do tricks and make the ultimate combo to get maximum points. But you have to understand, I've essentially never played these games before. The concept of grinding, ollieing into a different grind, then kickflipping into a one-wheel manual doesn't even occur to me, let alone make any sense to my fingers. At least, not yet. But give me time. Every reset of the level, I get a little more confident in my abilities. A little more comfortable with how badly my character controls. Who knows? It's gonna take some truly disgusting amounts of cheese to complete this challenge run, but I think you and I will be pretty surprised how much improvement a guy can accomplish in 1 week. I know this is a remaster, but I gotta say, it feels great coming back to older games like this. This game in particular has such a strange history, what with it being ported from console to console over and over again. It's a shame I don't know anything about that though, otherwise we could talk about it.
Hey Lemon, Dan here. You want to talk about the different versions of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater I heard? Fantastic! Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was released on September 29th, 1999 for the PlayStation, and a few months later in 2000 for the N64 and the Dreamcast. Now, most people fondly remember the original PlayStation version, and for good reason. It's got all the wobbly-wobbly PlayStation 1 charm, amazing high-quality soundtrack, and how can you not love...
That is a great sound. Well, thanks, Dan, for...
However, for me, I love this sound.
Yeah, the sounds are great. Now,
while the Dreamcast version of the game can often be considered the definitive version of the first game, having the crispest textures and sound of the bunch, the one that I and speedrunners alike love is actually the Nintendo 64 port. There's no fun startup sound here. However, it's great for speedrunning for its lack of load times, but they had to make cuts somewhere to fit it on a cartridge, so unfortunately, you've only got low quality snippets of the soundtrack on loop and no full motion video. But the gameplay is all there, true to form. At least, so I thought. I used to think that this was my favorite of the bunch, but playing these different versions now, I do not remember the N64 port being this uncomfortable and slow. PS1 original feels like wading through molasses already, and somehow, something about this N64 port feels like you've got honey poured on you at the same time. Also, weird thing, the menu shows the title is Tony Hawk's Skateboarding, not Pro Skater. Strange.
Wow, I did not know all of that. Thanks again, Dan, for the...
Now we all know the version we're playing in this video is the excellent 2020 remake by Vicarious Visions, but did you know? There is actually another remake way back in 2001?
Look, I appreciate all this, but we really don't have time for...
Developed by Treyarch and published by Activision as a launch title for the original Xbox, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2X is a faithful remake of THPS 2 in the original engine, with updated graphics and a 60 FPS boost, really boasting the power of the original Xbox. One coming home with their shiny new Xbox back in the day might have thought to themselves, wow, this is a fantastic way to play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. my favorite game that's only 1 year old. And they'd be right, and would soon realize after a few hours that not only are they getting some brand new extra levels that kind of blow, but they also are getting the entirety of THPS 1 as another bonus. 60 FPS, 480p, motion blur. I don't know why they did that. Turn that off. Playing this one is pretty strange, however. You see, it's got everything from THPS 2, like the crucial addition of the manual, but the developers made no balance adjustments to the original level goals. So by the time you unlock the original pro skater career, your stats are probably maxed, you've got all sorts of extra tricks, and some truly busted scoring. You could tell that this was a fun extra unlockable, rather than a fully fleshed out remake like 1 and 2 later were. With Pro Skater 3 already being on the shelves for the PlayStation 2 and the GameCube, I imagine that this would have been a disappointment at the time as an Xbox owner. Playing a year-old game and an old engine while all your friends are playing the hot new thing. Xbox fans in 2001 must have felt pretty stupid.
You know, Dan, that's actually pretty interesting. Do you have any other fun facts about the series?
Sorry, Lemon, but I've got things to do.
Are you sure you don't want to?
Shh, hush now. Well, see you later.
I miss him already. Anyway, you know what would help us out in this challenge run? Some protective gear. Gotta keep that noggin safe. And heck, there we are, Lemon and Cat, the ultimate power couple. With the power of Cat on my board, I decided to go back to the warehouse and try out my newfound talent at combining tricks. It's not much, but say what you will, it's enough to get to the high combo, which is enough to unlock the next level, the mall. Nice. But I'm not ready to leave just yet. I'm having too much fun getting combos, and if I can get 20,000 combos like this one consistently, we'll be able to get the better score goals in no time. And would you look at that, pro score achieved. And just for good measure, I ollied the channel gap too. Well, not really, but the game says it counts, and that's all that matters. Anyway, let's see what the next level has in store for us. Get it? Store? Because it's a mall, whatever, I don't need your sympathy. Collecting skate proves to be no issue in this map, and one of the collectibles in this particular map, the mall directories, is very easy to do as well, so long as you know where to look for them. The other collectible, the toy robots, isn't too bad either once you know where you're going. The hardest one to reach is hidden inside a small gap that requires a well-placed ollie to get through. Looks simple, but it took me a few tries to get the aim right. Nose grinding the rail next to the coffee shop is an easy trick, so long as you can manage your balance for a few seconds, a skill that I've been getting weirdly good at. And then, because I think it's funny and because I want to leave no stone unturned, I find one of the 3 stat points placed around the map. Each map has a few of them lying around, and when you collect them, they give you a new point to put into your stats. Unfortunately for me though, all they are is another collectible, and one that does nothing to progress the game at that. Oh hey, high score. Speaking of scores, because each level has 3 or 4 score-based goals, we really need to get better at doing combos. Like, significantly better. I'm over here doing my best, and the max scores I'm coming out with at the end of the level aren't even a third of what I need for the 6 score goal. Now don't get me wrong, I'm definitely learning and growing as time goes on. Getting the pro score in each level is actually starting to feel like a realistic accomplishment. But if we're gonna get anywhere near those 6 scores, we're gonna need to figure out a new strategy. And what better place to figure it out than in a skate park competition? Welcome to the competition side of Pro Skater. Every so often, you'll unlock a tournament where you get 3 tries to score as many points and as many unique combos as you can in 1 minute. The best of your 2 scores are the ones that count, and anytime you fall, you lose points. Simple enough, right? Yeah, sure. Keep telling yourself that, Lemon. That 30,000 points is sure to get you the gold medal. Yep, 4th place so far. Better than 8th, but a whole lot worse than 1st. This time around, I focused on getting as many different tricks in as I could, testing to see if the judges liked variety more than they liked total score. And ironically, despite my focus, I accidentally got more points than I did the last time from doing so many different combos, which in turn ruined my study. Ah well. But then, the cheese I've been waiting for. If you grind this rail that goes across the entire map, you can wall plant off of the opposing wall, do a kickflip or grab trick on the way down, then grind your way back across the map. Repeat until just before the balance becomes impossible to maintain, and you'll get the big points. What? 2nd place? What the heck did the other guy do? Swallow his board? Alright, Lemon, this is it. The 3rd heat. You can do this. Not quite what I had in mind, but if it's good enough for 2nd place for the judges, then it's good enough for me. That's a silver medal acquired, and a new level unlocked. Downtown. Start with the easy stuff. Ollie over some cars? No problem. Grab all 4 stat points on the map for no discernible reason? Sure. We can do that. Get 25,000 points? Easy goal for babies. In fact, I'm feeling confident. Let's go for that 6 score goal in the warehouse. It's only 100,000 points, and if you take full advantage of this triple guardrail space at the beginning of the level, you can get a wild combo going with relative ease. Just keep your balance, make sure to wall plant into some sort of kickflip move, and build up those channel gap bonuses. And there you go, 83,000 points in a single combo. You'll love to see it. The only thing left to do in the warehouse is to grab the secret tape, which is up in a higher area than we normally can jump to. But if we build up that special meter, problem solved. Oh, my face! And just to be thorough, let's grab that last remaining stat point while we're here. And there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, that's one level fully completed. Do you know what this means? It means it's time for some new digs. Aw yeah, now we're talking. Look at that handsome little guy. 32% of the game complete. Not bad, all things considered. You know what? I really like having a level fully complete. Gives me a warm, fuzzy feeling inside. Let's see if we can't keep that going. We can heel flip over the kicker gap if we have a full special bar, and can actually manage to get all the stat points without one. Though we will need a full special bar if we want to reach all 5 of the textbook collectibles around the map. But now we need to do some outside the box thinking for this next goal, while riding all of the school bells in the map. Normally, very easy, and for 3 of them, it's 0 issues whatsoever. The 4th one is in an awkward place, which I suck at getting into position for, but otherwise it's also easy enough to do. But that 5th bell, I can't seem to find it anywhere. I swear, I've been everywhere on the map. Where the heck is it? Well, it turns out, it's in the one place I haven't been. Did you see it? Here, let's try that again. Oh hey, there it is. That's not so bad. Except it is. Because even with a maxed out special bar, I can't get enough height to get up there. Yes sir, there's no way to... Huh? Wait, why'd it work that time? Oh god, wait, no, I don't have time to get to the 5th bell. Why did that work? Well, from what I can tell, there's 2 reasons. The first reason is that I must have jumped at the exact right time off of the half pipe and got maximum height on my jump. The second reason is that I was riding my board correctly. When you're riding around, your character has a preference of which foot is forward while skating. If you don't have that foot forward, everything is a little bit harder, essentially giving you even further reduced stats. But because this was my first day of playing, I didn't know this or notice it. So I did what Zero Research Lemon always does. I improvised. That'll do, pig. That'll do. A few resets later to make sure I had enough time to get all 5 bells, and Bob's your uncle. The secret tape in the level is actually really easy to get if you know how to reach it, so a little more map exploration gets us that goal with relative ease, which means the only goal left is the 6 score. Let's come back to that though, and instead go back to the mall for some of the easier score goals. At this point in the run, I finally realized that there are multiple grinds that you can do by simply pressing a different directional button when you land. And combining that with the manuals to get from one grinding platform to the other really lets me rack up the points, which means the high combo goal is done. And after noticing where the secret tape of the level was located, it didn't take long to figure out that a special meter jump could get me onto the rail where it was located, which means I only have 2 more point goals and a trick goal to go. It was at this point in the run where I realized that special tricks were a thing, and tried a few of them out. Unfortunately for me though, with such low stats, most of the tricks take too long to perform, which means all of those big point combos aren't as guaranteed as they normally would be. And doing special tricks that don't require airtime tend to make balancing much more difficult as well, which, while possible, makes adding them into combos a bit too risky, considering my terrible balancing stats. So instead, we're gonna have to resort to the secret ingredient in every meal: cheese. Lots and lots of cheese. Simply find a part of the map that makes it incredibly easy to go from grinds to manuals to grinds, preferably with a wall plant somewhere in there for an easy kickflip or 3 to give the combo some variety points, and there you go. Massive points for little effort. Do this a couple times in a row, and the points are high enough that you can reach the pro and 6 scores of each map. After that, I just needed to airwalk off the flying leap, and with one last useless stat point collected, that's the mall 100% complete. 2 levels done. Going back to the school, I found a similar section that allowed for multiple grinds and manuals to be combined together for those points that I needed. And after a few runs of that, I was able to get the 6 score with 15 seconds to spare. Not even close. Oh hey look, that's the school 100% complete. Well how about that? And with renewed confidence, I gave the first competition another go. We already have our cheese, so it was just a matter of doing it better. Because doing it better means you get the gold, baby. But it's not all perfect. I was able to get one of the stat points with no issue, but the last one of the level is completely out of reach. I did my best to reach it by jumping up onto the halfway platform, grinding and wall planting my way back towards it, and then attempting to wall ride ollie up to the next platform, but just couldn't seem to get it to work out. What you're supposed to do is jump off of the quarter pipe here, grind the light, then make your way over to that platform by grinding your way across the ceiling joints. But that's completely impossible for my character, so this is the first official collectible that I can't reach. Goodbye 100% completion dream. It was nice while it lasted. But hey, the game doesn't actually count the stat points when considering the percent complete goal. And it's not like we need them anyway, so maybe the dream is still alive. Back to downtown, where we start collecting the skate letters, and while I was initially doubtful, the letters are actually a bit easier to reach than I thought. In fact, I was able to collect the S, K, A, and T without needing a special bar, and getting the E is just a matter of lining up your shot. God damn it, Lemon. Alright, no biggie, it's just a hop, skip, and a grind away. No worries. The popcorn buckets though, those might be an issue. I didn't have a special bar to help with the speed and jump height, but even so, that bucket up there feels very out of reach. Let's think about that one and come back later. In the meantime, let's see what the new level has in store for us. Downhill Jam. This level is one long run downhill, and is generally one big half pipe. And that's a bit of a problem for me, because guess what you can't wall plant off of? But that sounds like a problem for future Lemon. For now, let's just focus on what we can get. The hard hat collectibles are simple enough to get, and getting the lowest high score goal isn't bad once you learn the lay of the land. Doing a Madonna down the huge water hazard is a little glitchy, but we make it work. But airwalking the hydrophobic gap, that one might not be doable. Even with a special bar active and proper footing, I just don't think we have enough speed or height to fully clear the gap. You know what'll make me feel better though? Some petty vandalism of public property. All of the no skateboarding signs are nice and easy to get too. Not really sure how I missed them. Okay, that's 4. Where's the 5th one? Game? Game, where is it? Seriously? Where the hell is this damn thing? Oh, there it is. Come on, Lemon. You can make it. Just stay balanced for like 5 more seconds. Easy. Easy. Hey, not even close. Oh, hey, look, that was the only goal I needed to unlock the next level. Burnside. Another competition level. All we need to do is place 3rd or higher to progress. The only problem is that this particular level seems pretty heavily focused on ramps and jump tricks, which are my Achilles heel. But where there's a will, there's a way. And I have a way. This bowl over here has just enough grinding rail to get some moves in, and if you can manage to aim it right, you can wall plant back onto it repeatedly, or just manual your way through the bowl and back up onto the rail if you have enough speed. Repeat ad nauseum and watch those points roll in. Is it perfect? No. But is it good enough? Yes. We can move on to the streets. Lots of collectibles to get here, lots of points to score. BS50 around the fountain, wreck 5 cop cars by ollieing on top of them, and use multiple grinding spots and relatively flat brickwork to get a high score. There's also a nice little grind manual grind wall plant grind combo you can do over by the Hubba Gap, which lets you get that high combo nice and easy as well. As for collecting the skate letters, it's a little odd due to the winding path you have to take to reach them, and you'll have to go out of order to do it fast enough to clear the level with enough time. But the letters themselves aren't very difficult to grab. For me, the hardest letter to get was the E, hidden inside this museum looking building. It took a minute to figure it out, but if you grind around the bowl to max out your special, you can get just high enough to reach the letter. Then it's just a matter of keeping your special bar long enough to get to the other side of the map, and just barely scrape your head against the A. Nailed it. But now a new problem. At this point in the run, we're starting to run out of goals to complete. The collectibles that remain all appear to be too hard to reach, and I'm pretty sure I've done all the trick goals I can do at this point as well, which means the only goals left are point total goals. And with those point goals reaching up into the 100,000 range, I'm not sure we can even get that much. I didn't think I had it in me, to be honest. Well, shit. I think it's finally starting to click. Guess those point totals aren't so far-fetched after all. The most frustrating part of it all is that I don't know what did it. It's not like I did any extra research or watched any tutorial videos or anything like that. I just started to see the maps differently. I know it's a bit of a stretch, but it's kind of like thinking with portals. You play Portal, and the game gives you this tool that makes you think entirely different about the world around you. How it connects, how physics work, the whole 9 yards. And at first, this takes extra brain power to figure out. But after a while, that processing power you had to spend gets less and less. And before you know it, you're just puzzling out environments automatically, because your brain has adapted. It's accepted this new resource as part of reality, and now it's just a matter of time on the tool. But while time on the tool is helpful, it's not the fastest way to grow. And sometimes, you just need a little push from someone who knows more than you. Oh hey, it's Dan again. While I let all of my new skills simmer for a bit, Dan and I decided to play a friendly game of graffiti. For those unfamiliar, the game is simple. Do a trick on an object, and it turns your color. If someone does a trick on your object that's worth more points than what you got on it, it converts to their color instead. This is so weird, I am flying so high. Oh my god. How do I land on things? It's so high up. Holy shit. Okay. So yeah, apparently when you're playing online, the game gives you max stats. Because of course it does. And needless to say, this was a bit of a shock to my system after having been at 0 stats for so long. But you know what? I think I'm doing okay. I'm even winning. Alright, well, I'm almost winning. Alright, well shit, never mind then. I guess I'll just go back to rollerblading. In case it wasn't obvious, Dan's been playing pro skater games for even longer than I've been playing Dark Souls games. And he's just as good at them, if not better. And while getting my ass kicked, I learned several things I didn't know before. Like how those special moves we briefly mentioned all those minutes ago can be given custom buttons to make them easier to put into your combos. Or that you can lose by 41 points in a graffiti match if you try hard enough. But more importantly, I learned how to continue a combo from a half pipe by doing reverts into manuals into grinds, which might help me out in the downhill jam level. Dan also taught me a few new moves to add to my arsenal, like the boneless, which gives you just a little more height to your jumps. Sadly, not enough for some jumps like the secret tape, but just enough for reaching the valves in downhill jam, which means the valve collectible goal is back on the menu. Well, alright then, another goal down, feels good. At this point, Dan told me my best bet was to get good at high scores, since the other goals seemed physically impossible. And so we got to work learning some more cheese. Exhibit A, reverting while manualing. Each revert counts as a trick, and therefore adds to the multiplier. Not big on its own, but throw that into your grind manual grind combos, and the math adds up. Not only that, but did you know that you can press button combos while doing lip tricks, grinds, and manuals to do different tricks? Cause I fucking didn't! This changes everything. Look at that, I just got 56,000 points in like 15 seconds. With these new skills under my belt, I still can't beat Dan, but something tells me that those score goals that were out of reach are no longer in question. To test this theory, Dan and I scooped up Colin while he was supposed to be working, and played a round or two of Trick Attack. And we had a great time.
Right down.
See, the best part about this game mode is the false confidence.
Though I will say the skill level difference was pretty obvious by the end.
Dan, are we playing the same game?
Huh?
Are we playing the same game?
I know, right? Look at the scores.
What are you doing?
But anyway, that's enough relaxing. Back to business. Using a healthy combination of old cheese techniques and my newfound reverts and button mashing combos, I was able to build up a respectable combo in the streets level, getting a cool 95,000 points. From there, I just had to do that a few more times, and that's the 6 score goal acquired. And you know what that means? The last level, Roswell, has been unlocked. Sub-goal complete. Apparently, Roswell is another competition level taking place in Area 51. Because of course it does. Time for some wall plant manual cheese. Ah, who decided that was a door? Well, I may have broken my pelvis, but it was worth it. Because this room is filled with delicious, nutritious cheese. Look at that combo go! God damn, I'm good. And by that I mean I'm just mashing buttons while doing my best to keep my balance. Little brother strats. If it works, it works. And boy howdy does it work. And with my random bullshit technique now in hand, I was able to collect a gold medal at the second competition as well. You'll love to see it. Now then, time for one last bit of cleanup. I grabbed the 2 stat points at the Burnside competition with relative ease, using my terrible balance in my favor to get up to the higher of the 2, then grabbed the 2 points at the Roswell competition as well. I think I was so excited about the cheese I got here that I completely forgot to grab them earlier. Silly me. And with that done, it's time to tally up our score. Against all odds, I was able to 100% the warehouse, 100% the school, and 100% the mall. I got a gold at the skate park, but wasn't able to get one of the stat points, and downtown I missed the popcorn buckets, secret tape, and rooftop gaps, as they were all just a bit too far out of reach. I missed the 6 score secret tape and airwalk trick in downhill jam, as well as all 3 of the stat points, while Burnside was a perfect 100, and I only missed the life preservers, hubba gap, and secret tape in the streets, with a perfect hundo on Roswell to wrap things up. According to the game, that's an 88% completion rate. Not too shabby for a 0 stat skater, huh? The frustrating part is that I know I could have done better. I skipped out of the 6 score goal on downhill jam, because fuck that level in particular, and something tells me that someone who's better versed in all of the tricks and skills of this game could have gotten a few of the physical goals that I missed. So yeah, hopefully someone can show me up and get even closer to that 100% completion rate. And who knows, If this video gets enough traction, I might just continue this challenge into Pro Skater 2. Let's say 10 views? No, you're right, that's unreasonable. 5 views is better. 5 views on this video and I'll do the second game too. Pull my leg, why don't ya? But other than that, that's all I got. A big thanks to Dan for sharing his wealth of knowledge with us, and thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves, be good to one another, and I'll see you all again soon.